Watching CNBC TV 18.
It's been about 5 months since the last time I spoke to the chairperson of the insurance regulatory body, IRDAI. 5 months? That seems like a short time frame. But well, that hasn't been the case for IRDAI. In the last 5 months, the insurance regulator has given us multiple opportunities to speak about some of the large developments in the insurance sector, and that has happened almost every alternate week. To speak about what has transpired so far and what is waiting to transpire, we are joined by the chairperson of the insurance regulatory body, Debashish Panda. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to CNBC TV 18.
Thank you, Yash.
Sir, I want to understand something from you. Since you've taken over as the chairperson of the insurance regulatory body, you've sort of brought some big-sized reforms into the insurance sector, into the market, as far as proposals are concerned. What happens from here? Do you wait before you introduce more proposals and wait for these ones to be executed, or the draft papers will keep coming? The industry needs a lot still.
See, Yash, the whole idea behind whatever is churning is happening in the regulatory space is primarily the target is to how do we insure our entire society.
Correct.
And come 2047, we'll turn 100. And so we should see a fully insured India before 2047. Now, what do you mean by fully insured? Here, I would believe adequate coverage with life, health, personal accident, property, and all enterprises should have, cover for covering their business risks. So that is the prime target or vision, you may say. First and foremost is how do we create a regulatory framework which is supportive, facilitative, forward-looking, and progressive. It has to be in sync with the market needs and the trends, not alone within the country but worldwide. Second, that is the developmental role. If I wear the hat of the developmental mandate, and if I step into the regulator's shoes, then I need to have a robust risk management framework. So these are two building blocks on which we are trying to work on. The third major pillar is how do we provide a platform where investors, businesses find the necessary comfort and convenience. So in other words, we may put it as ease of doing business. The whole idea again is how do we quickly close the protection gap. So we need more investments into the sector. We need more number of players to come into this space. If I were to double the insurance penetration today, where it is 3.2%, if we wish to double it in the next 5 to 7 years, then we need a lot of capital.
You've specified the limits of expenses of management for life insurance companies, for general insurance companies, standalone health insurance companies. What I want to understand from you, since it's a very important reform, do you see this going in the next board meeting? Because the final date for consultation is before that. And by when do you see the EOM regulations actually taking shape and becoming effective?
See, before I answer this question, I think one point which I want to also tell you that happy to again inform that after a gap of 5 years, 2017 was the last approval for a new insurance company. And after 5 years today, we have approved an insurance company by the name of Shema General Insurance Company. So that's a matter of great pleasure. And there's another one which is ready. We couldn't bring that proposal because their arrival of the capital will take another 15 days. It's in the pipeline. So that company is Credit Access. We hope in the next board that should also get cleared. And 18 more are in the pipeline. And there are a lot of inquiries regarding setting up of new units. Even what we have now done is to also increase the number of tie-ups as far as insurance intermediaries are concerned. Now, primarily I'm talking of the corporate agents and the insurance marketing firms. Now, currently, corporate agent could tie up with 3 insurance companies in life, general and health, which means 9. But now we have allowed 9 each. So in other words, with 27 different insurance companies.
Confident now that a fresh consultation paper is out, that you'll be able to take the final inputs in the next board meeting, and by when do you see them turning into regulations?
See, it should be now, see the first set of regulations which had come out, again was based on the inputs from the working groups, then a series of consultations happened. We received comments from various quarters. We had meetings with the stakeholders, and thereafter a number of inputs that came to us, we examined that in greater depth and tried to figure out what should be the ideal prescription. Or I wouldn't call it prescription, the framework. A new formulation has been brought, so that the original regulation has undergone a drastic change.
Correct.
If need be, we will definitely again meet the stakeholders to address their concerns if they have any. Hopefully, I believe that this should be quite acceptable to everyone, because everyone's interests are being taken care of.
And if that happens,
And,
then the
so
following board meeting?
it will come in the normal course as and when the next board
By when
meeting
do you
happens.
reduction of EOM each year for 3 years, right? How much do you see? Do you think 0.5% should be given as a target to the industry
I
for
will
reduction?
not give any view at this point of time. The draft is already there.
But the draft does
Let
not talk
people-
about the reduction.
Let people come, let them comment. When we come to that stage, then we'll again come back to you.
What you've done is you've removed the sub-limit, which was their segmental limit on commission, and you've said that the commission should be under the EOM limit. Now, one thought for the industry is that this will actually lead to a situation where large insurance companies spend aggressively in profitable businesses, leaving loss-making businesses for mid-size and smaller insurance companies, and that could pose a systemic risk to the industry.
During the stakeholders consultations, there was not much of an issue around this. But anyway, whatever fresh comments and inputs that we receive, we will examine that again.
In the last 2 months, we've seen a lot of GST investigation on insurance companies, almost all general insurance companies.
Let me interrupt you
Just
here.
want to ask you, do you think EOM as a thing was misused by the industry so far in the past?
I will not venture into that because I have not gone into those details. That is the GST matter. So the GST authorities would be able to tell you.
Directly linked to EOM and the misuse there?
However, the IRDA is asking the insurance companies to submit the details of what is appearing in the media. So that is where it is.
Okay. With the EOM regulations, as soon as hopefully becoming regulations, do you think such instances of misuse will get eliminated out of the
You see,
system?
there will be a stipulation. If somebody wants still to misuse, then then they are doing it at their risk and peril. So if there is a regulation, it says what are the boundaries.
Correct.
Within the boundary, you do whatever you want.
Makes sense.
And the board, it's whatever you want, meaning the board has to take a decision. The board has to be accountable thereafter.
With respect to classification of promoters going all the way to 25% from earlier 10%. And with that increase, the lock-in limit has also been relaxed, right, under 25%. Do you think for the intention of bringing more capital, somewhere we could lose stickiness in the capital, which means this could become more like an investment taking returns, exiting the company, changing hands very frequently in insurance companies?
No, see, the lock-in period also has been very carefully thought through. It's not that for a new company you come today and exit the next day. So there are defined timelines in which they can exit with the aging of the company. So if the company is, say, 10-year-old, then there is already financially stable.
Stability.
So there the lock-in period will be maybe limited to 1 year. So otherwise the minimum lock-in period will be 5 years for other companies.
Now you've allowed banks to tie up with 9 life, 9 general, 9 standalone health insurance companies. The input somewhere that we've been getting is that this won't move the needle significantly, but what would be if some of the large banks at least attempt the limit of 3. Do you agree with that assumption?
No, there is no decision. That's why we opened it up further, so that the policyholders get wider offerings, wider choices.
Understood.
So now we have opened it up. So it will be the market which will decide now. So therefore, the question of whether it will happen or not happen, it will be the question of time. And automatically when they see value in it and having more offerings, when people will go and ask, what is your offering? He'll say, no, I have only 2 or 3 or 1. He'll say, you don't have a choice, so why should I buy from you?
Not a mandate, but if an advice has to come from the regulator, would you ask these large banks to at least go till 3 from 1 right now?
I'm sure that they will all see reason in why it has been opened up. During the stakeholders consultation also, this came up, and many of these corporate agents and insurance companies they received this idea very well. And so that's why it has now been amended in the regulation. So as we go forward, we'll see how it unfolds.
Are you hopeful with the preparations that have been going on? By April, we would be able to start operationalize Bima Sugam?
Let me be very clear that, you see, it's not that it's a small little platform that you create and start. We are talking of a financial market infrastructure. And eventually, the way it is being conceived and conceptualized, it will become a systemically important one also. So like the UPI. So for the insurance, it is kind of a similar thing that is being contemplated. So it will be an e-marketplace. It will sell, it will service, it will settle claims. So entire product life cycle, there is a service. I mean, the Bima Sugam takes care of.
Correct.
Customer convenience and onboarding by the agents and other intermediaries, they are the maximum beneficiary of this portal or this platform. How? Now the ease for the agent is that individually they couldn't have invested in a platform.
Now they can.
Now it's a platform which is available where they have to pay nothing. So the agent-client relationship and the servicing will become much more stronger, much more faster, much more transparent. Our attempt to reach out to the entire country, then you are there in every part of the country. Be it the northeast, be it the hill areas, be it the north, south, east, west, every nook and corner. Today you see the number of internet users, you see the number of mobile users, you see the penetration of, digital penetration all across.
Correct.
So I think this will be a game changer as far as insurance is concerned.
Very important question. It's an e-marketplace. The intention somewhere is also to make insurance products more economical in terms of price as well, because the commission also that on Bima Sugam will be there will be significantly lower.
Commission. It is the question of that is the overall commission structure what the companies decide. Here it is the ease of buying a policy, ease of servicing a policy, ease of settlement of the policy, ease of reach.
I really want some understanding here. Right now, a wide interpretation understanding is that the products will be cheaper on Bima Sugam as compared to other aggregators, simply because the intention is not to make profit. So the commissions charged on individual products will be much lower.
No, that is again for the companies to decide what is their commission structure. We have nothing to do with that. If it is lower, then the product price will be lower. If the commission structure, so whatever is I don't know what you call lower. It is for the companies now, and the markets will again decide.
You've given use and file now. Why? Because you felt that the industry is mature enough to decide the right pricing, to give out the right products. There is only one segment today where pricing is still regulated by the regulator, that is motor third party. If you think that the industry is mature enough, is it the right time to let the industry decide the pricing of motor third party?
It's not, I have not mandated, it is mandated through the statute. And therefore, there's a responsibility of the government also. That in case of an accident, a person who is on the road gets killed, then who pays for it? So, the state's obligation at times is, fulfilled by mandating certain things.
Correct.
So, therefore, maybe that those administered prices are there. So, that the concerned ministry in the government will address.
With your recommendation, what would that be?
No, recommendation as and when they ask, we will decide. I mean, they consult in terms of the pricing. We do send that. It's not that the pricing is done in an irrational manner. It is done on based on some statistics, data, and you work out what should be the premiums. Based on that, the premiums are fixed.
Correct. Okay. One important topic which will maybe go a long way in terms of increasing penetration is allowing more players in the health insurance space, life insurance companies, and that particular thing may not require a change in the statute. How far, how close are we in terms of, putting up a solid committee, in terms of taking suggestions, how this should be done, and putting out a consultation paper on allowing life insurance companies on the health insurance side, indemnity health insurance side?
We will see, I mean, as we go along, the first things first. So it doesn't stop anybody from setting up a health company.
Correct.
So therefore, that's not a showstopper. So, but having a composite license is something different. As we go along, we'll see. That may entail an amendment in the statute.
No,
also.
composite license will,
Yeah.
but only allowing life into health won't.
Even allowing life also, we will see. Now also they are doing the benefit-based.
Benefit based, not
so-
indemnity still.
So, I mean, let them see. Now the question is, in a economy which is, we are moving towards a developed economy. There are, as I said, the protection gap has to be fulfilled. So the life insurance companies are focusing more on the life side.
Correct.
There are standalone health who are focusing only on health. But going forward, we will see as the scenario changes. So at this point of time, our focus is primarily
Nothing immediate.
on creating. So, I mean, as I said, going forward, everything is possible. So we'll look at it at the appropriate time.
Well, on that note, we'll take a short break, but don't go anywhere because there's a lot more coming up on the other side. Now speaking about composite license, allowing both sides to operate into each other's territory. The hope is that in the winter session of the parliament, composite license is something which could be discussed
I cannot answer that question. I
because
think
the recommendation has gone from the
it's
regulator.
Gone, it's gone. Whatever recommendations have gone, they have certainly gone. I am not. So we have sent a set of recommendations. Now the government to consider them. So that's how it is. I don't know when and
Okay.
what time. it will
You've
come.
recommended that a composite
We have
license.
recommended certain sets of recommendations. Yeah.
If you could give us
I wouldn't really recall each and every detail
But
right now.
headline.
But the headline is about lowering of the capital so that smaller players could come, value-added services,
On
one-time
composite?
registration.
on composite.
I clearly don't remember. Probably yes. But these are 3-4 things that I remember has been sent. So.
On the reinsurance part, the order of preference has been proposed to be removed. What I want to understand from you is that the input which we get from the industry is that order is one thing, taxation is the other thing. On the foreign entity side, where they have the taxation on reinsurance contracts is much lower as compared to India. Now I understand it's not your direct side of administration, but have you been in talks with the ministry to look at the taxation part so that more reinsurance can be retained in the country itself?
So let me tell you, our remit is to look at how to create capacity in the reinsurance market, allow the forces of competition also to come in, allow maximum retention of the premium within the country, and also we have our International Financial Services Center, the GIFT City, if that could also emerge as a global reinsurance hub. So we are working on those pillars, and accordingly a draft regulation has been put up in public domain today for public comments. So once those comments come, then we will take this initiative forward.
Okay. On the reinsurance side as well, another thing which is obligatory premium, which today, last year was reduced from 5% to 4% going to GICRE on every general insurance policy. GI companies, general insurance companies have asked you to remove this entire 4% in one go. April, I think next year is when the revision again happens. Are you in favor of having this understanding that GICRE is mature enough, now it doesn't require that obligatory premium and it should be removed?
See, there is a committee which the government appoints every year to recommend on this. So the government had appointed a committee. The committee has given its recommendations, and we have sent the recommendations to the government endorsing the committee's recommendations, and now it's the call of the government
Which is
to decide.
removal of the obligatory
Yeah,
premium?
they have said that the obligatory session should be reduced to 0.
On dematerialization of insurance policies, again a very important step, putting all the policies in one place, helping insurance companies, policyholders at the same time. By when do you see this actually starting? Because in your draft paper what you've said is that you will give 1 year for old policies to be put on the DMAT platform after the new policies have been started to be issued. But by when do new policies start to get issued in DMAT form?
See, these are all works in progress in defining what will be the timelines. So as and when we decide that, we will let you know.
A lot of insurance companies, including the largest life insurance company, LIC, has expressed the desire to the regulator as well to start its own repository which will do dematerialization of insurance for the company and for other companies as well.
I haven't seen a proposal. It has not come to my table so far. So as and when it comes, we'll take a look what is their proposal.
Do you think this should be encouraged?
I don't know what is the proposal. I haven't seen yet, so how can I comment? There are already 4 repositories which are in works. So the whole idea is that the Bima, through the Bima Sugam going forward, all the policies which will be sold through that should go into the insurance repository. And once it goes to the repository, or to a DigiLocker as the customer wants.
Correct.
And so that the customer, as and when it is required for settlement of the claim, they are able to produce. So, and going forward, if these policies are in the DMAT form, still people can use it for, raising a loan or pledging it for shares, etc. So yes, but the timelines and all are yet to be decided and finalized.
One final question, and since I have you here with me talking to us just about a couple of months before the union budget, the insurance sector looks up to the union budget for various amendments, changes that it sees from time to time. This time around for the union budget, from the insurance regulator side, what have been some 2 to 3 key demands which you expect to come through the budget?
We have not yet finalized and sent our comments, but in the past some comments have gone, they are being examined, and we are trying to get some more inputs from the other stakeholders. So once that is done, we'll forward our
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
sir.
very much, Yash.
Thank you.
अगर तू हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस नहीं लेगा तो